Yabeka Pow, what's going on, people? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the Esports Rewind podcast. My name is Jake. This is Zan. Hello, Zane. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Jake? No, how are you today? What was that?
The last 48 hours have been pretty crazy. It's stressful as per usual. The weekend cannot come soon enough, but I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm chilling. It's been a good week. Like you said, it's been very busy, very stressful, but I think that's a good thing. We're busy in a good way.
It's just, I wonder if we're ever going to see a week where nothing happens. I don't think we're ever going to go back to those times.
Pro tip, no, probably not.
I kind of miss those times, but I'm grateful that we're not, obviously, never not busy. Does that make sense?
We're never starved for content. We always have stuff to talk about.
If anyone likes our videos, you're probably pretty full of content. We're going to keep on filling you. You ready to hit this one?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get this show on the road. Hope you guys enjoy. And Zan, with this crazy quarantine time, this pandemic, we've seen a rise of esports and gaming. It's been kind of weird to note that, yes, online events have taken off. LAN events and homestand events have obviously been shot to the dirt. But with that, we've also seen a rise of some crazy things all within the past couple of weeks, which kind of showcases to me, yes, a rise during a pandemic where everyone's at home, but also a rise in general of the fandom of gaming and streaming, which I've really enjoyed to watch, because now within 2 weeks, with this past week being Tim the Tatman breaking record viewership, think about this. All within 2 weeks, we have seen some crazy records of some sorts, whether personal records for these streamers or for the platforms that they were on. Doc comes back and breaks 500,000 concurrents, and of course he came back to his stream not even showing himself or his voice and breaking 300,000, but his official stream back breaking 500,000 concurrent viewers. Then Shroud comes back to Twitch and breaks 500,000 concurrent viewers. I think 516,000, but confirming those numbers is kind of tricky.
Yeah.
And then, and then we have Tim the Tatman breaking 347,000 concurrent viewers, his own personal record on Twitch, by just trying to win in Fall Guys.
Which I am shocked that it took him this long. Like I thought it was a joke, honestly. I thought everybody was just kidding that he hadn't ever won. And I was like, oh, that's actually real?
And that's kind of, that's what made it so fun to watch, because I guarantee you there are people out there watching that thought he was joking and that he was playing it and, of course, trying to make, kind of milk it a bit. But I guarantee you there's also people watching that are like, no, he's just this bad, which kind of added to it. But I thought it was very cool to see that, yes, esports viewership has been doing, I think so far online, pretty well. A lack of LANs has certainly caused a bit of a suffering in that perspective. But when it comes time for streaming numbers, we are seeing these tremendous numbers, these tremendous feats by a lot of figures out there, all within a short period of time. So it's been a wild time to be alive in general, to see gamers and streamers out there pulling such large numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. The whole industry has really grown so much in such a brief span of time. I have a lot of analytics conversations with people, and the general consensus appears to be that this pandemic has, in a weird way, pushed the industry forward at least 2 years in terms of just growth and exposure to an entirely new audience of people who just realize all of a sudden, hey, I actually like all this gaming and esports stuff.
Which is super interesting, because if you guys remember 4 or 5 months, it's been a long time since we first entered this quarantine pandemic period, there were a lot of esports organizations very concerned, rightfully and justifiably so, some of which were actually taking some big drawbacks financially. I wonder what we're going to see in the next coming months. If it's going to be, are we back to what we were, because have these organizations found out a way to monetize off this or benefit from this? Certainly over the past month to 2 months, we have seen orgs kind of rejoin the signing, NRG re-signing people like crazy, even announcing a content house. We have seen organizations dipping back into their wallets to spend. So have we already adjusted? I have no idea. But either way, during this crazy time, it's been very fun to see a few streamers and a lot of figures out there continuing to break records for viewership when it comes time for esports.
All right, Jake, I kind of wanted to have a kind of general conversation with you as well as the audience. I'd love to get your opinions on this after you listen. So the growth of mobile gaming, the huge explosion of mobile gaming, the success of mobile gaming.
You're already pissing people off, Sam.
I don't think that's not controversial to say.
No, it doesn't have to be controversial. I swear there's PC and console listeners right now that are like, frick mobile, it's not actually gaming. Sorry, continue.
See, in a way, that's actually kind of what I want to talk about.
Oh, great.
Because I saw
feathers.
Yeah, let's go. So YouTube is actually hosting a huge mobile gaming tournament with $50,000 on the line to give to charity. It's coming up in the next 2 weeks or so with with 7 pretty large creators. They're going to be playing PUBG Mobile, Brawl Stars, and Clash Royale, I believe. And I saw this news and I was like, oh, that's super cool that YouTube is like, as a large organization, putting their energy behind, something that doesn't get a lot of love like mobile gaming. But the question is, how are, let's say, the more traditional esports, traditional gamers supposed to get on board with mobile gaming? Because I've been thinking for a while, like, what is the thing preventing mobile gaming from really crossing over to our side of the divide? And I don't know if there's a way forward on that. Because in a weird way, mobile gaming, it still feels like such a lesser experience. And this is not to throw shade at mobile games. I think they're amazing. Like, they're doing like really, really groundbreaking things. But the graphical quality is just a little bit lower. The UI is always cluttered because everything has to be in fingertip reach. Mm-hmm. And I was watching a PUBG Mobile tournament versus a standard PUBG tournament, and I was like, I can't see myself watching PUBG Mobile over PUBG when the alternative is available, and same with COD Mobile versus Modern Warfare,
Yeah, I think it's such a difference of cultures, and I don't know where the future is going to be. We hear about the console wars between PS4 and Xbox, and I think PC master race is definitely a common phrase out there, but a difference of cultures. I think generally, from what very little I know of the mobile market, the Asian scene that's where it dominates because everyone uses their mobile devices as also a gaming device. I don't know if there's going to be a bleed over or a crossover or a movement in either direction for, either side of the world, because I think a lot of people who are established on console or PC are going to stay there. And if you're established on mobile, you're probably going to stay there because there are so many offerings in the Asian market for mobile games. PUBG Mobile, by the way, is pretty much taking over and killing off the main game on PC.
Yeah, with over 740 million downloads, I believe, at last count.
Which is crazy because that's definitely not our market, not our demographic. And I like that, Fortnite also making some moves, obviously with the recent lawsuits with...
Fortnite was making some moves. Now it's...
Fortnite Mobile had its own definite, pretty big market as well. Call of Duty Mobile is trying to do the same exact thing. I honestly don't know enough on this topic to see where we go from here. I just can't see ever myself being a mobile gamer.
Yeah, I kind of can't either. Like, I gave it a try the other day.
Yeah.
I play Legends of Runeterra on occasion, and there's a mobile version right alongside the PC version. And I was like, you know what? I'm away from my PC for a second. Let me hop on, play a game like this. And, like, not gonna lie, it just sucked. It was not fun, And I was like immediately like, yeah, this is cool. I'm deleting that. I'm never touching that again. So maybe you're right. Maybe that is just a cultural difference of, hey, we have PCs available to us, so we're just gonna play on that. But I'm kind of hoping in a way that events like the one that YouTube are holding will kind of give people a way to get involved with that part of the community, because I feel like that's such a large amount of people that we're just completely cut off from, that are, at the end of the day, we're all playing the same games in a way.
Yeah, and we get occasional comments to try and cover mobile gaming, but mobile news in itself is a whole different demographic. So whenever we cover it, it's not really looked at. And so it's obviously very tough to see where this is going to go. I hope there's a crossover. Like you said, there's so many people that are on mobile that I would love to see, viewing the channel. Obviously, I think just like YouTube and just like us, anyone else out there who wants to attune to a larger audience, we just got to see, how those adaptations are made, how those crossovers are established. And if either market, right, if PC and console can penetrate the mobile game and vice versa, I guess we'll figure it out in the future. I think it's a long ways off, though.
I'm really curious. DrDisRespect is streaming with Scout tomorrow at time of recording. I wonder if they're going to play mobile or PC.
So this is a week old, and that's a very, very good point to make, a pre-recorded podcast. I guess we'll see viewership-wise how it does, because Scout pulls in big numbers. But yeah, you're right. We'll see what devices they do play on. I didn't even think about that. So
yeah, it could be interesting.
Mobile market, it's definitely a future. Where that future might be still lingers in the air. And next up, Xanifer. It might be the, I don't know, it's a ruffling of feathers like we've apparently been talking about so far this podcast. A well-established once brand out there, OpTic Gaming, back in the news over this past week, as we see the struggle of Call of Duty League, especially online. And with that, Call of Duty Champs is well underway. OpTic Gaming having their own struggles with that being online. It was actually that same day, though, that COD Champs did begin, that OpTic Gaming and their social media team had posted a video. I'm not sure if you had actually seen this, but they decided to bash the entire Call of Duty League and all of its issues in a social media post, which was left up, I believe, for at least an hour. Even after they apologized, they further left it up, and it continues to be a very interesting case because we've never seen like anything like this before. We've never seen such a well-established brand be bought out by other parental owners and then just kind of be stagnated. Would be the best word I could probably choose for this one.
Yeah, that's probably fair. I do think they're in such a weird place where I think they really thought they would have more love from the fans from just keeping the name without realizing that, hey, the fans loved OpTic because of the people at OpTic specifically. And now it does very much feel like, someone else is walking in with the same clothes, but it's an entirely different person trying to act like, oh, hey, it's still me, Jeff, from 5 years ago. But I'm Greg. Like, it's just not. I don't think they have the social cachet to pull moves like this on social media. People don't like them enough to get away with that type of nonsense.
To me, it is always baffling. And yes, with that transaction, Immortals Gaming Club, the reported $100 million figure, they got some other teams with that. But still, you like to think, or you don't even like to think, you do think that with that gigantic figure they paid for the OpTic Gaming brand just to be placed on one single team forever and ever and always will only be a Call of Duty roster. You got to start wondering, was it worth it? You look at their social media engagement, you look at the moves they have made so far this season. Just on social media, they've been given some backhands for a lot of old OpTic comments they did make. They decide to make jokes of the old OpTic, which was not taken the right way.
Horrible idea and terrible taste.
And then you bash the entire Call of Duty League, which you just paid $25 million to get into. And I think what people, at least in my opinion, you guys can have your own, of course, on this. I think why people were rubbed so wrong with this video is because you have a notorious brand of OpTic Gaming taken over, and now on social media you have that notorious OpTic Gaming bashing Call of Duty, which is what made OpTic, is what they're known for, right? You have a very respected, once respected maybe, OG brand, and now all of a sudden on social media with new ownership, they're decided to actually bash what actually, the roots of the organization are in the first place.
It's really unfortunate to see, and it's not to say that they're entirely wrong in criticizing Call of Duty or the Call of Duty League. I mean, both certainly have their own issues. I just think this is not the way to go about it, not as an organization. I mean, maybe if the whole team over there felt a certain type of way and they really actually wanted to address something, they could have made a serious video and said, hey, we have some constructive criticism to give the league. If they really wanted to, if they felt the need to put this kind of content out,
Yeah, I just don't see where you go from here. You look at the YouTube page. It's I'll be honest, it's rough.
What YouTube page?
It's the fall off between the old OpTic content, what Hitch and the guys did over there with all of their series, all of their Scuff House and OpTic House content, to now. Viewership-wise, their social media engagement, I mean, it's pretty much just through the floor, down and down and down. And so it makes you wonder, how long does this persist? At what point in time? I mean, I think we're going to see it in the next year or two, an OpTic Gaming rebrand, which probably adds further backlash. What do you do if you are OpTic Gaming right now and you see this downturn? What do you do?
I honestly don't even know. At this point, I think they might just have to give up. Because, what can they do to turn it around? I don't think people like the people that are at OpTic nearly enough for them to just carry the entire brand, because at the end of the day, they're not OpTic. OpTic meant a very specific thing to a lot of people. And I think if they just toss the name away, that would just be even worse press. I mean, if they maybe...
Yeah, so you can't do that either.
Yeah, so maybe here's what they maybe could do. They realize, hey, the OpTic Gaming name isn't doing us any favors. So they make a deal with Hex. They say, Hex, we're giving you back the name. You can do whatever you want with it. We're rebranding. We're going to honor what this brand has been in the past and make it something like a joint act or something.
I love that idea, but now with what Hex has with NRG and the Huntsman...
Well, yeah, obviously he's not going to abandon his current arrangement because he's doing amazing things over at NRG with the Huntsman. I think maybe
you offer the OpTic brand back to NRG, add that to their umbrella, but at a really, really low cost.
Yeah, something just like a transaction fee almost, just to say,
dude, this is weird. This is actually tripping me out.
I think it could work. Maybe what they do is OpTic will become the team. The Huntsman becomes a branch of OpTic.
This is throwing me off.
The content side or something. I don't know. I think there's a way to make something work there that would kind of make everybody happy.
I just don't think it can happen because with the franchise model and them paying $25 million to have OpTic underneath the Immortals umbrella, I don't think it's going to happen.
All the money does make it a little difficult.
Yeah, so it's fun to think about. We'll just leave it on this because this is really throwing me off. What can OpTic Gaming do?
All right, Jake, let's talk about something I am very excited to discuss.
I know you
because I
Because I called it.
yeah,
Oh.
because I called it. So I do have a screenshot that I've been dropping every now and again in our chat about Fall Guys. Because before the first beta, before anybody got their hands on it, I was like, you know what? I think this is going to be the next big thing in gaming, and I got nothing back from y'all on that.
I didn't believe you.
Yeah, nobody was on board.
Dude, look at the
They're like crazy Zan in the corner.
look at the game from an outside perspective, and I'm not going to tell you, oh, that's going to be the next big thing. You today and age, you cannot predict what's going to blow up, and there's no
You absolutely
yeah,
can.
You called it. Give credit where it's due, but there's no way you would have thought, oh, yeah, this game's going to blow up, have events, have pros, Twitch Rivals is going to take off, and also Tim the Tatman is going to go viral to mainstream
The Tim the
media.
Tatman thing definitely could not predict. That's just weird. That's wild. I don't know how that happened. But everything else, absolutely. Fall Guys, I feel, is like the perfect combination generated for success. You know, from day one. It's a battle royale. People love battle royales, you know?
Is it a battle royale?
Yeah, it is.
It's like they call it ultimate knockout. You know, it's borderline battle royale. I'll give you that.
Yeah. It's like, you know, you do whittle down the numbers eventually to one crowning champion.
Yeah, you are right. Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's free to play
Fortnite,
for like
Warzone.
PlayStation.
Fall Guys.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Sorry,
like-
I'm so sorry. Continue.
You're good. Like the game was free on launch for PS4 users. It was very cheap for PC players. I mean, I heard some people even got the game for free pretty easily. And the characters are so likable and so vibrant and so, like, you know, silly. And I think we need some silliness in our games more often.
Well, that's what we freaking got, or at least we thought. You know, I like to make fun of Immortals because I have a little biased burning flame in my heart. When they were supposedly signing the first, I haven't even checked back if that's true or not. The first Fall Guys Pro, I thought they were trolling, and now it actually seems like one of the better moves to make, despite probably that move not really going anywhere. It's kind of ironic that all of a sudden we do potentially have pro players because we have gigantic streamers all over the face of the earth. You know, what I also sent in the chat is we have two games that have very, very similar looking characters taking off at the same time. We got Fall Guys and we got Among Us. And they both are little thumb alien looking characters with different colors that people apparently are falling in love with. All within the same couple of weeks. It seems suspicious, man. I think there's some higher power.
I think the higher power is that people just like silly characters. You know, I think that's the long and short of it at the end of the day. Fall Guys are just fun. You know, the little bean is like they're like waving their arms around and stuff, and they just look joyful while they push people off cliffs and stuff.
I can't even describe, like, yeah, you called it, but how they have done all of this. There's a combination of so many factors, including the game itself, but with the ongoing events and with Tim the Tatman and his virality, where everyone, I mean, Twitch and FaZe Clan and Spotify and random people at Starbucks, ESPN Esports, everyone jumped on that Tim the Tatman bandwagon. And before even that, the Fall Guys social media team.
Yeah, you really have to shout them out because I think
Who is that guy?
it is so difficult to walk that fine line between like trolling but keeping it wholesome.
Yes!
You know, like it is so
That
rare to
dude-
find a brand account that does that.
Like everyone and their mom is just checking Fall Guys tweets. Whoever's running that social media is probably making
Shout out.
more than us combined times 4. and then even further, the game itself continues to feed onto itself by having a charity event for an in-game skin.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
is genius.
Ballooning like crazy because that not only is that fantastic advertisement for the game, it goes towards a good cause. It's a great way to get brands up, like get their attention to say,
Yes.
hey, look at our game. Because after this, they could immediately go like, hey guys, so we saw there was a lot of interest in having skins in the game. We'll open that up to brands a little bit, you know?
And instantly you pull in top figures like Mr. Beast and Ninja, Aim Lab, other organizations,
G2. I'd love to see that samurai skin. I hope y'all win.
It's a sick skin, but if they're also putting up hundreds of thousands of dollars all for an in-game skin, I am so curious where this game goes next.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's the big hump, right? The fault Tim got his first win. All right, so that's one little thing accomplished. Once this skin gets sold, that's another. Okay, you make it over that hump. What is next to keep the momentum rolling?
I think the immediate answer is more competitive events. Twitch Rivals for Fall Guys is kicking off very soon. I believe the date is like somewhere at the end of August, the 20th or something, something like that, 28th perhaps.
Yeah.
And that's just looking at the viewership on that, I think is going to be really indicative of whether or not the game has legs in that kind of competitive sense. And I think after that, it depends on how soon can they release new game modes? How can they keep people invested? Are they going to go for more like monetization stuff? Because who knows if that's, I don't know if I'd love that if they lean too hard into that aspect of things, you know?
I am really curious because the devil in me makes me want to say this can't last, right?
Mm-hmm.
How can it get any bigger? But that's the same thing with Fortnite. You never thought it could get bigger, then it just did and did and did and did. Same with Warzone as well. So what do you guys think? How can Fall Guys get all the bigger? Because Fall Guys is simply taking over. As per usual, we hope you guys all enjoy the Esports Rewind podcast. I just want to say a quick thank you to audio listeners, YouTube listeners. I really do appreciate you guys. I've been in a bit of a mood lately, and you guys really do carry us through with subscribing, all the comments, all the DMs. Really been flooded over the past week or so. So thank you guys very much. Zan, hit him with that outro.
Yeah, let's hit it. As always, we appreciate your support. And if you're a YouTube viewer, listener, consumer of our content over at Esports Talk on YouTube, then you may be interested in knowing that you can actually find this very podcast on your mobile device via Spotify, iTunes. I mean, basically anywhere you listen to podcasts on the go as part of the Prediction Esports Talk Show Network. That's PREEDICTION. We're right there alongside a lot of other fantastic esports podcasts. So by all means, go check it out. Don't download an episode. It does help support us. We do have ads running there, you know, so it is a little bit of a help. Aside from that, shout out to our audio listeners. We appreciate you tuning in. If you'd like to check out some daily esports news content, you can find us on YouTube at Esports Talk. We have a website, esportstalk.com, where we cover a little bit more of the things that you guys have been asking for on the channel, but just don't make as much sense. You know, like Jake mentioned earlier, we're interested in mobile games. We just can't cover it here because, you know, people don't really love that type of stuff from us on YouTube. But we do a bit of that on the website, so by all means, swing through there. Aside from that, though, you can check us out on social media at talk_esports on Twitter, esports_talk on Instagram. Send us a DM, a message, a hello. I mean, we read everything. We really love getting messages from people. It's always amazing. Even though we do not have time to respond to all of them, we do appreciate it. Aside from that, Jake, do you have anything else you'd like to leave the good people with?
We hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, okay?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. I like that. Yeah,
I know.
Be positive.
Until next time, goodbye, gamers.